We have a trade update around Vooch and the possibility of him being moved to the Golden State Warriors. We're going to be talking about what this means for the Chicago Bulls and if they are going to trade Vooch this season. This is your host, Rico Greenhowe, and you have found yourself on another episode of Bulls Digest. And so today we are looking at this trade update around Vooch. And I must say that this is interesting with this team because we had been hearing that it had been pretty quiet around a possible trade for Zach Lavine or Vooch or really anybody. And then things started to heat up when we got that report around Zach Lavine and the possibility of Denver really wanting to maybe go out there and get Zach Lavine. And so I think that this report is equally as interesting because it is essentially saying that the Golden State Warriors have inquired about Vooch. And so you can find this article out on Sports Illustrated. It's under Fast Break Sports Illustrated. And within this article, you can see that there is a tweet out there, and it goes in this article, and it is from Evan Sidery, and he writes for the Forbes. He's an NBA reporter / writer there, and he is saying that the Warriors have recently checked in on Vooch. And so I think that this is very interesting news because we know that the Golden State Warriors have wasted no time. They have already traded and they have addressed the situation that they needed to in the backcourt. I think that just the talk around that is that they wanted somebody that could come in, help them with scoring when Steph Curry is off the floor. And I think that they've addressed that. And now, from what I'm reading around Golden State, they're looking to now address the front court and looking to go out and really maybe help move Draymond Green over to the 4. And then they want to get back to the strength in numbers, and they want to get a center to really help them out there. And so I think that this makes a lot of sense if the Golden State Warriors are still looking to get Vooch. And they do have the draft capital to get it done. As it says right here, they've got the salary and they've got the draft capital to get it done. And so with that being said, I went ahead and I came up with some mock trades. We're going to do a little buy or sell on just how this deal could get done. And so I did not put any draft capital attached on any of these deals. This is just strictly looking at players to start with, but I'm pretty sure that any deal that is made is going to involve some draft capital. And so let's go ahead and start really with the first deal that I was able to come up with, and that is moving Andrew Wiggins over for Vooch straight up. Obviously, I'm pretty sure there's going to be some draft capital involved into this. And so, the Warriors, they're going to get a player in Vooch that is a plug and play. We know that he's having a fabulous season right now. He's shooting 47.5 from 3. He's also shooting scoring 21 points a game, 9.6 rebounds a game, and 3.2 assists a game. So he's just having a great season. Plug and play. That's absolutely why you are going to get some draft capital there. And that goes with their centers that they currently would have if they did this deal. They would have Trace Jackson Davis, and then they also would have Kayvon Looney as well. And so they would have definitely some front court size, and they have several players that they could go to as well. And so I think that helps out Golden State. As far as the Chicago Bulls, look, if they're still in a win now situation, I think that if you can get a healthy Andrew Wiggins, that makes a little bit of sense here because he's averaging 17.8 points a game. He's got 4.2 rebounds a game, 2.3 assists, and he's shooting 47% from the field. He's also shooting 45% from 3 right now. Now, the question with him is, can he stay healthy? And also, too, which Andrew Wiggins are you going to get? Because if you're going to get the Andrew Wiggins that helped this team win a championship, you pair that with Zach Lavine if he's still on the team. I think that the Chicago Bulls still have some options to go out there and maybe address the front court via trade. This is something that you're thinking about if AK in this front office is still trying to go maybe all in on this season, which it looks like that they're pushing to, trying to win as much as they possibly can. I think that Andrew Wiggins helps you there, and he's going to help you defensively as well. He's going to clean up a lot of those things out there. And so I think that is where the Chicago Bulls would win in that way, along with getting some draft capital too. And so next up, another deal that the Golden State Warriors and the Bulls could do if they were looking to move on from Vooch and really make something happen here is they could go ahead and add Torrey Craig, the Chicago Bulls. So they could add Torrey Craig to go along with Vooch. And then in exchange here, the Chicago Bulls are going to get some expiring contracts. And so they could get Gary Payton II. He's an expiring contract. You're going to get Kevon Looney, You're going to get him as well. He's an expiring contract. And then you would get Jonathan Kuminga along with some draft capital. I'm sure of that. And so in this deal, you do get a decent player back in Jonathan Kuminga. You actually get a player that has some pretty good upside. And right now, with Kuminga, look, he's averaging 15.4 points a game. He's giving you 4.4 rebounds a game, 2 assists a game, and he's also shooting 45.2% from the field. And he is a player that is a willing defender. He also can, again, stretch the floor offensively and knock down some shots. I like his ability to get downhill and finish. And he's also going to be a player that is going to fit in nicely if you're wanting to just, run the floor. You run the floor, get some fast break points and things like that. He certainly can do that for you. Now, the issue is that he's on a 1 year. You're going to have to go into the negotiation table. I've said this before. Is this going to be enough time for you to evaluate him? And also, too, what type of roster moves are you going to make? Because you know that he's going to probably want the bag, when it comes down to the negotiation table, and you're into that situation, too, with Josh Giddey. So that's something to think about. Now, those other expiring contracts, they obviously go away. And then with Looney, he is a player that you could utilize now, or you could flip him as well. And so that is another way in which this deal could possibly get done. This last deal, this is, I'm going to tell you, it's just a wild scenario, but this is adding a third team, and this really goes into what I think Eric Pincus was talking about on Bleacher Report when he had mentioned that Jonathan Kuminga was linked to the Chicago Bulls, and probably the possibility of it being 3 teams involved here if you were going to do something. And so in this deal, I didn't include Jonathan Kuminga, but this is a deal that could net the Chicago Bulls, just a center back and somebody that they could absolutely use here. And so with this deal, you add the Trailblazers, and what is going to happen here is that they would get Andrew Wiggins. They get a player that is going to help them as far as experience is concerned. He's still 29 years old. But more importantly for the Trailblazers, they get a chance to really open it up a little bit with their front court. And I talked about this before. You have drafted Donovan Clegan, and then you also have DeAndre Ayton. At some point, the Portland Trailblazers are going to have to open it up in order to maximize Clegan and get him out there, and that would mean that you need to move on from one of your centers. And so perhaps they move on from Robert Williams II, and then also to make this deal work from a contract standpoint, they include Thibault as well, and the Warriors are able to get Vooch. And so with the Chicago Bulls, you get a center that is going to give you some rim protection at this point in time. No, he's not going to knock down three-point shots. He will rebound the basketball. The biggest question with him is staying healthy. That has always been the issue with Robert Williams II, is staying healthy. You would have him for 2 seasons. He's averaging 8.3 points a game, 5.4 rebounds a game, and an assist a game. You also get a defender in Thibault as well, who's averaging 5 points a game and 2.1 rebounds a game and an assist a game. And so he's currently injured, but you do get a defender. You do get a big man to go along with what you have with Lavine and some of this younger core over here. With the Warriors, they get the plug-and-play center that they would want, and also, too, that helps them just as far as moving around players and putting them in the correct positions that they would want to. And the Trailblazers maybe have an asset that they could perhaps maybe flip and get some draft capital too. So there's the possibility that maybe another team is added here. And so once again, in all these deals, I did not include any draft capital. So let me know in the comments what you think about any of these. Do you think that this scenario could possibly happen where the Trailblazers could be involved? Do you think it is a deal where it's straight up, where it's just the Andrew Wiggins for Vooch? Or do you think that it is a deal that includes maybe a couple players and you do get a decent player in Jonathan Kuminga back? I'd love to hear what your thoughts are and the possibilities of them maybe moving Vooch to the Golden State Warriors here. And so I just want to thank everybody out there for liking, sharing, and subscribing to the content. It means a lot to us here as we try to reach our goal of 5,000 subscribers by the end of the NBA season out there. Wanted to let you know that about 66.3% of you that watch are not subscribed. So make sure that you go ahead and mash on that subscribe button for us. It means a lot as we try to reach our subscriber goal. And so, look, even though the Chicago Bulls still have got to pick a direction, I continue to keep saying that, but they do have some options now because it looks like that the trade market is heating up. And I think that, some of these deals that they could make, with these teams could be deals that actually keeps this team being competitive. If that's what they want to do, continue to be competitive. But I think at some point in time, they're going to need to push in a different direction and really get this thing going to get back to a contender status right now, because we know that at some point, you're just going to end up at the same position, whether it's into that play-in or an early first round out. You've got to do some massive things to this roster in order to get some different results here. And so anyway, let me know in the comments what you're thinking. And as usual, go Bulls, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.